shopping centers and stuff that would have like a gym, but it rarely ever had like, I don't know, it rarely ever had like an egg hatching or anything like that we could actually like try to fight for and stuff like that. That was a TM1, wasn't it? Is that what I saw? TM08 would be what it was. What was it? Body slam. Actually, I think I can teach that to Clefairy, but I don't have Clefairy. So much for that. I remember being at the park with some friends doing Pokemon Go, and someone walked by shouting that there was a Pikachu spot on the other side of the park. Everyone in the park took off running that way. Oh man, I don't think we had anything that dramatic, but we had organized forums and all sorts of stuff. Like, we had people in like messenger groups that were like communicating to each other what kind of Pokemon they were getting in like set locations. Global police agent. The trail of Team Rocket Rido, mate. Yeah, it was a well and truly organized thing. I also remember when they did put a when they did put a gym down the road from me, I remember the neighbors down the street obviously didn't play and were like extremely suspicious of everybody loitering in that park. It was so great because like you'd walk down there and the guy would like drive away to like leave to do something and he'd see you, and it was the kind of like drive by where he was like basically like head out the window like looking at you, trying to like square off eyes with you, and then he'd like, you'd see him turn around down the street and he'd come back and like park in his driveway until you left. And it just kept doing that, and I'm like, mate, sweet Jesus, paranoia. But I'm guessing like he had no clue what the fuck was going on and why so many people were just suddenly loitering in the park across from his house. I'm guessing it just happened to coincide with a purchase that he made, and he was feeling a little bit suspicious about it. I don't know. Peel spuds every day. All right, mate. Some of these got to have something in it. But yeah, we had various different places we could go to. What does this eat and sleep? Yeah, I remember having a conversation with my doctor. It was so funny. He didn't know that I was playing Pokemon Go, and I remember him saying to me, it's like, oh, you know, you should really consider walking more and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? Because like we'd only been talking about like the job that I had at the time, and it was very sedentary. And he suggested I do more walking, and I'm like, I think I do enough walking in like my day-to-day and my week. And he's like, oh, okay. And I ended up like obviously proving, because, you know, I also had Fitbit and stuff at the time, and because of the amount of walking I was doing for Pokemon Go, I was doing like a substantial amount. It was like probably give or take about 15 kilometers a week. And like, as I said, some of those were like 13 kilometers in a day. Some of those were like 20 plus kilometer weeks and stuff like that. And he's like, shit, you walk more than like most of my average like patients. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay for the walking. I think I need to ease off on the walking personally, because like it was causing like, I don't know, I think one of my feet to hurt. Feet or leg, I don't remember which. I have a bad knee, so I also have a bad hip, spine and neck and shit too, but you know, it was good for it, I guess. No prime beef steak. I have enough fillets. I don't know, Viken, do we have enough fillets of beef? I'm looking specifically at you. So my whole body is bad, basically. Yeah, most of it. Like, I know one of my toes was pretty fucked up. Well, it's not like visually fucked up, but it's had like multiple broken toes in it. Got multiple rolled ankles. I've got a rolled knee that is always like extremely painful in the cold. Got a fucked up hip. Got fucked up back. Fucked up shoulder. Other shoulder's not getting any better. Fucked up elbow from tennis. Fucked up wrists from drawing and weightlifting. Fucked up thumb from the weight of my drink bottle. in the last year because it's too fucking heavy for my hand to hold on to properly, and my double joints and my thumb don't like it. Fucked up neck. My skull's still doing alright. The last time I checked. My skin's not the greatest. It's fine. It's just, it has moments, you know. And yeah, I think my hair's doing good. So I think that's how the general consensus is. Most things are pretty fucked, but a couple of things are alright. So busy getting dizzy. Okay, mate. That's the wagging falls asleep, snuggling both full pushes. You're dreaming of steaks now. So an oddball in the trash. I will hydrate, Joel. Thank you. I'll see if I can run an ad. We were literally just talking about you a moment ago. I will run an ad if I can, and I will get you timed out as soon as I can. Once my fucking brain works with things, there we go. That should work. What else? Must be some issue. Ladies construction. 4 times been talking with a girl and she's been too poor condition to go ice skating with me. I mean, it depends on the person. In my case, I did a lot of sports, heavy duty weightlifting. I did a lot of really brutal kind of renovations and landscaping, and really push my body beyond its like limits a lot in amongst all those. So yeah, mine's pretty well shattered from all the shit that I've done over the years, you know. I wouldn't go ice skating myself. I used to, but the last time I went ice skating I fell square on my ass and I didn't have any of my injuries yet, and my spine hurt a lot from that. And if I fell on it now, I'd be risking my hip and spine, like just kind of like a tower of Jenga just going. Bon petite, we're busy here, out of the way. I will maybe leave the room. But yeah, that's a hell of a risk, because also like the older you get too, I'll go back the way I came because there was another thing on the other side. The older you get, like if I were to have a fall and I was to land on my wrist, I could break it. I also have osteoarthritis as well, and I'm like predisposed to osteoporosis. So the older I get, the more kind of like dangerous it is for me to have a fall and stuff. Oh, sick, Mac potion. Nice. But yeah, I actually fall over quite a fair bit as well. I have like serious, decent falls. Like last year, I fell on my elbow twice in the same week because I used the foot peel on my feet. And as a result, it caused me to have like no traction on my tiles. I think it uses to move big rocks. Righto. And draw a clip if you're saying you wanted to throw down. Lol. So perhaps, was it she can't skate and is making excuses because a lot of people are scared of looking stupid on the ice skates? Ice skating in general is kind of terrifying to do because it's not like just like rollerblading or anything like that where you can take your time and get used to balancing on the thing. Once you're in the shoes, once you're on the ice, that's it. You either figure out how to balance quickly, how to move, how to slow down, how to stop, and you're in amongst a sea of people that are all moving around you at the same time and stuff. That shit's scary. Plus, if you fall, you can get seriously injured. Stella's pride is at stake. Okay, mate. I wasn't going at that, but okay. I think, but it's for different girls. It could also be the location of the place. Like, if you're constantly choosing a location, like, for instance, there are some, like, inner city, like, lookout places and stuff like that, that, when I used to be dating and stuff, like, guys would always choose. It was always, like, the top choice, most romantic place. It was the busiest place, the hardest to get a park, absolutely overrun with people. It was not sweet, wasn't, like, you know, private. It was just rushed and, like, not great. And then on top of that, you could do nothing there. There was no bathrooms. There was like the food restaurants were super expensive. If you wanted ice cream, you'd wait like 40 minutes for like double the price of a cone of ice cream, stuff like that. And then you couldn't sit anywhere. So you couldn't really like hang out and just enjoy the view. But like that was the place where most guys would be like, hi, I just met you. I'd love to take you here. It's super romantic, stuff like that. And it's like, mate, I've gone to this place probably 17 times this year. And none of those guys like impressed me while I was there. You're not winning any battles by taking me up there. I'm just going to be pissed about it. I've seen the sights. I know what the city looks like. It's dark. It's lit up. And depending on the weather, it's, yeah, it might be wet. And not in a good way. They're probably so popular. I mean, it was more about, like, I dated for the purpose of more so, like, having to prove to my family that I was heterosexual at the time. Because, like, until, like, really recently, like, I'm estranged from my family, so I don't give a fuck what they think. But, yeah, at the time, like, my parents, you gotta remember, they're racist, homophobic, and ableist people. They're horrible people. And so if I wasn't interested in guys, like as in literally like slicking off my seat as a guy walks past me because man, then I had to be a lesbian. And that was an absolute colossal no-no in my family. But the fact is that, like, I find all kinds of people to be attractive, no matter what gender they happen to be or aren't and stuff. But I just don't want to fuck anybody. I'm not interested. Which is where the asexual part comes in. But, you know, that doesn't really present well to my family. So, yeah, my disinterest in dating in general was becoming an issue, a big issue. So I just went, fuck it, I'm gonna go on dates. You know, most of the time I would be at least like pushing the narrative that I'm paying for my own shit. So it's equal both ways. We're just going out and like go to a movie together, pay our own way, go to a dinner, pay our own way. It's enjoying your company for the experience of getting to know you. If I happen to like you, then so be it, you know. If I don't, there's no harm, no foul kind of thing. But no, I dated quite a lot, but it was all kind of like first dates. I got like maybe a couple of second dates, but then like that's usually when people would start going into the, oh, I want to kiss you, or I want to do more than hold your hand and stuff like that. And I was like, ugh. So I was like, no, thank you. Extremely no, thank you. So, yeah, I'd normally like get pretty disgusted. The guy would get kind of confused about that, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings and stuff. And I'm like, look, not interested. Like at the point, I shouldn't have been going on dates in the beginning, but I also did consider, at one point I got so pissed off with my family, I actually just considered dating some of the women that I also found attractive, but I didn't want to, oh fuck, he leveled. I didn't want to lead anybody on that, like, I didn't want a relationship, and it was a lot easier, I felt, or I'm not even really sure how to say it best, but like, I could normally like go out on a date with a guy and be like, okay, no, and that was fine. But if you go on a date with a woman and you're a woman, I kind of feel like that's playing with them more, because it's not just, okay, an expected heterosexual kind of encounter. It's literally you're choosing the same gender in that regard to date. Not saying that that's a choice. I'm just saying that in the case of what I'd be doing would be choosing the same kind of thing. And I just felt like, you know, I didn't want to weaponize somebody to piss off my family, you know. And I was kind of hoping that maybe I would have liked one of the people that I dated. You know what they say about sailors and fighting? I don't, mate. Low energy on Dealbreaker. So I had a second date recently. Took her on a poetry night. She was low energy, so not barking up that tree anymore. I'm curious about like low energy stuff, as in like she didn't have much enthusiasm in like the night. So what's the fight? Like, it's different for each different person and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think I would have put some energy into it dating some years ago, but that was mostly just I was pretending to be interested. It's, as I said, like I wasn't hoping to result in a relationship, but if I happened to find somebody I liked, great. Reserved, a shy, sleepy. I couldn't tell if she wanted to be there or not. I felt like she was only there because I had asked her. I mean, in some cases it could be that. The other thing too is sometimes when you go on a date, the worst part is you then know that the other person does like you, right? They asked you, but then you don't really know what to talk to them about. Like, you know, like even if you saw them every day prior to that and knew a little bit about their life and stuff, it's suddenly fucking awkward and stuff. But, I don't know. I mean, she was only there because she asked her. I don't know. And the dating world of today is so much different to like 15, 20 years ago kind of stuff though. Defend this random girl. Well, not she would have wanted to do anything for me. Depends. It depends also how she felt about being asked in the first place, because like if it was, say, I don't know, in a low commitment situation where like perhaps you asked her out at her work and she had no obligation to say yes and she said yes, then, you know, it could just be that she wanted to be there and doesn't know how to fucking interact. But I don't know the girl, and I don't like know you that well in that regard, so like I can't say. I got no idea. Each person has different tastes. Personally, poetry readings are like just sit there and listen. It's like an event to be excited at. I don't know. Where's the poetry readings coming in there? I might have missed something. Because, I don't know. I probably wouldn't enjoy going to a poetry reading. Like, if somebody asked me out and they said, oh, we'll go out on a date, and then, like, later they were like, hey, we're going to go to, like, this poetry reading or this, like, musical event or something like that, I'd be, like, less than excited because of, like, the situation. But I have, like, so many additional layers to it with, like, having OCD and shit as well. So, like, OCD, asexual, doesn't want to be touched, doesn't want like any kind of like intimate shit. Like, yeah, it makes it very confusing. No room for more items, but what is it? I need to know. Hey mate, let's fight. Maybe I guess I can't use like a potion or something. You loud or talkative, rude poetry reading. Took her to poetry night because it was cheap, and I took her to a cheap event because she didn't seem excited to hang with me. I'm into poetry, is she? No, that's another thing too. If I see kids like you, mate, back off. Yeah, the thing is, like, just because it could be like a case of like, I don't know, maybe she's been to the event a few times, or maybe it's not her jam. And if she could tell that it wasn't your jam either, like, let's just say that you don't like that, but like you'd be amazed at how much people can pick up on another person's like enjoyment or something. Like, you guys are listening to me play this and I'm having like a big old chitty chat and stuff, but like you can genuinely tell I like Pokemon, so there's an enjoyment here that's like generally uplifting regardless of like whatever conversation and stuff, right? Whereas like if I was sitting here and I hated Pokemon and I was being forced to play this just because somebody asked me to, like, I feel that way about Dwarf Fortress, and I will have to play that eventually because you guys fucking got it unlocked. But I won't be enjoying it, and I don't expect that many people will enjoy like being there with me through that, unfortunately, even though it was unlocked. But you can generally tell, like, you can tell from another person's attitude and stuff. She mentioned having gone to poetry night before. Like poetry, I wrote something short to read. I read it on my turn. That's a hell of a fucking run. Doing actual poetry on a date. That's a hell of a fucking thing to do. There's some serious fucking no, I don't want the answer to this if you got the balls or not, but you had balls that day to do that. So regardless of the situation, very ballsy situation to do on a date. Like if I had to get up and read something, anything in front of a crowd on a date with somebody, that just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. I'm actually trying to think of like when my first date with my partner actually happened, because we became a couple long before we ever went on a date. I think it was like 6 months after we started like being together as a couple, we started dating. It's like a reverse with that one, because like I actually knew him for like 5 years before we actually became a couple, you know? Like I worked with him, and I don't know. I don't think recently sort of become actual like friends with him and stuff. So yeah, completely different thing there. Is it awkward for me? Professional editor lol. There guys have wanted to show me their poetry before, and it's always painful because unless they're really good, it's always awkward. Yeah. Well, it just depends too on also like what the topics were and all sorts of stuff. Defending or attacking. As long as neither of you guys are arguing, that's all I give a shit about. It's totally fine to be like, okay, well, this date was kind of shit, and like recent dates have resulted in like these results based on locations and crap. As long as it doesn't turn into oh, this is what they should and shouldn't have done crap. Like, what did you think? And I'm like, it's great. There's no way to say more nicely. That's generally what it feels like to be an artist. I'll tell you that much. So, like, one thing that I find is very difficult is that whenever I used to babysit kids and stuff, a reminder, I absolutely fucking hate kids, right? I have, like, no reason to be nice or sugarcoat, like, whatever their drawing is and stuff like that. But when somebody tries to draw something and I'm just like, man, that's shit. And I'm like, this is a child, and I'm like, man, that's shit. You know? But, like, I have to, like, try not to be that, and I just don't have that natural bullshit kind of thing to be like, oh yeah, this is a really great technical display of your age kind of thing. Like, whatever, you know. But it's the same kind of feeling because, like, I don't know, I haven't interacted with many people in, like, art stuff growing up, so I don't know how to interact with other people regarding art stuff. I also want to put something else away. We get Pokeballs, Awakening, Escape Rope, Repel Potions. I guess I could put some of the TMs away. No, don't throw it out. I'll put the things in here. One guy said some polite, nice things about its writing. And when he read mine, he wrote like 2 pages literary criticism paper about mine. Yeah. I mean, I sort of do the same thing. But it's normally more of like, I don't know how to just respond simply and nicely about it. So my thought process is like, I will go to the extreme analyzing route of it, because if I at least like analyze it, then I'm giving feedback, and it's not like a direct like, oh, this part is shit. I'm like, this was interesting, but like it doesn't, like, it feels out of place or something like that. I don't know. It ends up being critiquing instead of being like, hi, this was good, you know. Measure energy, and it was lame. Back to the lab again. Well, that's the other thing too, is if you rock up on a date and like, you know, for whatever reason you or them are like not in the greatest like mindset that night, or don't have like a lot of energy for whatever reason, don't you put it away. I don't want to put that Pokeball away. And then like the other person just ends up like giving you the same thing back. It's pretty fucking awful. You might as well have just cancelled, kind of thing. Stop trying to put that away. You're not getting my Pokeballs. Do I have any more thingos to deposit? I have a lot of TMs, and I'm not currently using them, but I don't want to walk around with them either. I'll forget later that I've got them. I'm going to put my jumper back on, though. Yeah, I don't know. I've had it once before where I've gone over to, like, a relative's place, and I just was super not in the mood to be socializing that day. And I was like, I went begrudgingly because like it wasn't for me. It was for somebody else. And I was like, okay, I'll do this for them kind of thing, but I don't want to be here. I'm not happy about it and stuff. But I remember having somebody very quickly match my energy at the event. And the funniest thing about it was that me being pissed off and then them becoming pissed off because I was pissed off made me a lot less pissed off. And I found it more so kind of funny in a sense because I'm like they're so irritated now, but they're not irritated for the same reason that I was. And I don't know if that was their intention to make me stop being irritated, you know? Or if they're now actually genuinely really fucking irritated. I don't know. But, I don't know. I'll never forget that one because that was just weird. But I've never gone on like dates so much like that. I've gone on dates where people like are super overly fucking enthusiastic and stuff like that. I've gone on dates where people feel like they should be following some kind of a checklist type thing of like when things are supposed to happen and why and whatever. I think I was in like the third room. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, it's always just weird. Like it's hard to come across somebody that's matching the same pace as you on that date. Ether. Another thing that like knocks him out. A guy who wouldn't stop trying to touch me on a first date. Broad daylight, got ice cream Lamau. I was like, cringe, go away. Yeah, but that happens too. It's kind of like, oh, I'm excited about you, and depends on like how the asking out has occurred and stuff, because they're like, cool, you turned up, so therefore like you must be interested. Or if you weren't interested, you would have said no or wouldn't have turned up to the event kind of thing. But yeah, there's different kinds of levels of boundaries. Like some women are like that as well on like first dates where they're a bit handsy, and some guys do find that, you know, quite uncomfortable because they're like, you know, can we not here kind of thing. It's like, is that found as a funny word for steal? What do you mean found? What, the ether that I clearly took, yeah, it's fine. We don't worry about what's in the bins and on the floor in people's like guest rooms and shit. It's fine. I ended up dating my boyfriend's other girlfriend. Polyamory is fun. Yeah. See, I find like as somebody that's like asexual and stuff, like people's romantic lives and stuff like that. For starters, I just see this as like none of my fucking business in the beginning anyway. But as like, I don't feel particularly overly strongly about this stuff, relationship stuff. It's kind of like, generally speaking, like more of a non-topic to me. Kind of like, it's something that I know exists, but it's never really at the forefront of my brain. Because it's just not. Like the furthest from it, generally. Team Rocket is clearly the bad guys. Not the thief that locks Pokemon in a vault, just a complete collection. Well, the other thing too was, as I said, like, I am walking around and I'm picking up stuff and whatever. And, like, none of these people are locking their rooms. Obviously, this is back in the era where everybody left their doors and shit unlocked. I'm just walking in and being like, oh, sick, look at this Pokeball that's free in this corner of this room where people are clearly staying. And it's like nobody's saying anything. They're just watching this kid walk in, super excited, squeal about a Pokemon, shove it in their bag and run out of the room. Like, that's completely fucking normal in this world. That's exactly what I'm picturing I'm doing in all these rooms. You're not bad. Got 540. I'm getting some good money now, which is good because the fucking health things are more expensive. What's the 44 one? What Pokemon are there for? Pretty much. Let's move while asleep. No, if I can. I'm keeping an eye on those. More money, less problems. I could only imagine existing in a world where it's like, it contains rest. We all need that. Like I said earlier, like, I walk into a room, see somebody throw like a little orange like gecko lizard thing against the wall and say like, go charm, let's fight. It's like, now you can give me $500 kind of thing. It's just such a weird thing. You just stop and chat. Pokemon are from the sea. Alright, Cracks Knuckles. Let's see what my level 35 Pokemon thinks about that. Utilizing Pokemons for gladiatorial combat for monetary gains. Yeah. We don't go too deep into that. Fisherman wants to fight. Alright. Send out Tentacool. Well, I'm probably honestly going to send out Charm for this. I'm past the 30. And I want to see how much it listens. Use acid. Well, okay.